Good evening. Our region has been hit by a snowstorm which is wreaking havoc on area highways. That has RCMP reminding drivers to use extreme caution on the roads after a two-vehicle collision near Maidstone. Now, emergency crews were on the scene of the collision at the junction of Highway 16 and Highway 21 just before 3 o'clock this afternoon. Officials say the driver of a pickup truck was attempting to cross Highway 16 when he was struck by a westbound semi-tractor trailer unit which was hauling a full load of diesel fuel. Now, there are no injuries and no spilled diesel fuel. Reduced visibility and blowing snow are considered factors in the collision. Now, drivers once again are being asked to slow down near the area as delays are expected. Lloydminster RCMP are looking for help from the public in finding a missing 21-year-old. Brandon Kriska was last seen leaving his home in Lloydminster on Thursday. He was wearing blue jeans, a brown or tan O'Neill winter coat, running shoes, and a black hoodie. Kriska is about 6 feet tall, 200 pounds, has short brown hair and blue eyes. Anyone with information regarding his disappearance is asked to contact the Lloydminster RCMP at 306-825-6350 or Crime Stoppers. 2 people are facing drug and weapons-related charges following a routine check near Lac La Biche on Monday. Now, after searching their vehicle, police found various weapons as well as 211 grams of crack cocaine, 16 grams of marijuana, 11 grams of cannabis, and 27 vials of what is believed to be anabolic steroids. RCMP also seized approximately $1,600 in Canadian currency as proceeds of crime. Now, 41-year-old Amanda Meme from Bonnyville and 41-year-old Corey Eade from Clive, Alberta are charged with various offenses under the Criminal Code and Controlled Drugs and Substances Act. Court dates have not yet been set. Well, Cold Lake RCMP are investigating multiple ATM thefts across northeastern Alberta. 11 different businesses were broken into since January 10th of this year. Now, police believe the same group of suspects are targeting businesses in several locations, including Cold Lake First Nation, Frog Lake First Nation, Lloydminster, Marwayne, Glendon, St. Paul, and Lac La Biche. RCMP say the suspects are using stolen trucks for their early morning break and enters. Police are reminding the public to call 911 to report any suspicious activity, or to call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. Well, we're into the second day of the Agri Vision's exhibition, and today a keynote speaker was in town to discuss the issues facing cattle producers. Kyle Gallagher has more.
Sandy Russell grew up on a cattle ranch, has 2 degrees in agriculture, and spent 6 years as a beef economist with the Saskatchewan government. She's well versed in cattle, and today she was in the border city to give a session on the global cattle market outlook. While Russell touched on many topics, country of origin labeling was one of the big ones, especially with the U.S. Senate passing the Farm Bill last week.
At the feeder cattle level, we've seen upwards of $35 a hundredweight taken off our market compared to the U.S. market. That's a significant impact to cattle producers. And so until we get a resolution to that problem, we're going to see discounted prices compared to their market.
Murray King is the owner of Moving On Farms out of Kitscotty and says while he hasn't felt the effects of cool yet, he knows they're coming.
It seems like the farmer, he's paying for everything coming and going, so it's always going to affect the farmer.
Another issue Russell brought up during her session was communication and how to use tools like the internet and social media to increase the amount of people you can reach. King says it's the way of the future, and he's already started incorporating it into his own business.
We used to always use the newspapers, and this year we're doing a big test. We've got our ad on Kijiji, and from there you can get onto a website that has our catalog online.
We need to be proactive in communicating. I think some of our associations and our younger producers are definitely starting to utilize these tools to communicate their story and how they produce beef.
And overall, the outlook for cattle producers looks good.
We're in record high prices, and we're going to see further records being broken as we move into tighter and tighter supplies in the next year to 2.
Kyle Gallagher, Newcap News.
It was a chance to saddle up with a pencil and paper to learn all about training horses today at the Agri Vision's exhibition. Now, world-renowned horse trainer Cade Mills spent the day working with an untrained horse in front of a crowd. And as Annika Notveit reports, there was a lot for horse enthusiasts to learn from the clinic.
Taking my body language completely out of it so he understands, all right, I did good.
Cade Mills has been training horses for years, and it's not just his passion, but his livelihood. His horse training business is always busy, and he says the horse community is growing, and he's seeing a lot of first-time owners.
People are starting to find they like to be outside a little bit more. There's a lot more to do on a horse, and kids are starting to enjoy it more and more. The high school rodeo program's growing all the time, and Canada's starting to represent pretty good down south.
People taking in the clinic eagerly soaked in all the experienced trainer had to say and came ready to learn.
Watching, how the horse responds to him, and just the little things you can see that each person does, and how everybody kind of does something a little bit different and how it works.
Mills began the sessions with an untrained horse, and by the end of the day will have a saddle on him. And judging from his own experience, his key advice for early trainers is patience.
Take my time, not have too big expectations for my horses and let them kind of come along at their own speed. Every horse is different, same as people's.
Anna Canate, Newcap News.